Time was when nations clamored to use the US dollar in global commerce. The greenback reigned supreme, the unchallenged king of international trade and finance. Yet the tides of history are relentless, and empires or currencies that rise too high often become victims of their own hubris. In a twist of irony, the same dollar that once symbolized economic stability now carries the burden of America's political overreach. The addiction to sanctions, a hallmark of US foreign policy, has pushed the world to the brink of a seismic economic shift. Faced with a growing movement among BRICS nations to wean themselves off the dollar, US President Donald Trump has doubled down on the very coercive tactics that led to this predicament. Through executive orders, diplomatic pressure, and threats of economic retaliation, he seeks to compel BRICS, a coalition of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, to remain tethered to the dollar. This strategy, however, reeks of desperation and is almost certainly destined to fail. The US dollar's dominance was never merely about economics. It was a reflection of trust in America's political and financial institutions. But over the years, the weaponization of the dollar through sanctions has eroded that trust. From Iran to Russia and Venezuela to China, the overuse of economic restrictions has galvanized nations to seek alternatives. The rise of digital currencies, bilateral trade agreements in local currencies, and the creation of new financial institutions, such as the BRICS-led New Development Bank, all point to a global financial system on the cusp of transformation. BRICS, representing nearly half of the world's population and a significant chunk of global GDP, has been at the forefront of this movement. Initiatives like the proposed BRICS currency, backed by a basket of commodities, underscore their commitment to reducing reliance on the dollar. By imposing the dollar on these nations, Trump's approach is less a show of strength and more a sign of America's waning influence. The Trump administration's logic is clear. The dollar's dominance underpins America's global power. Losing that status would not only diminish its economic clout, but also its ability to enforce geopolitical objectives. Yet, Trump's tactics betray a fundamental misunderstanding of the forces at play. The BRICS nations are not merely reacting to American pressure. They are acting in their own long-term interest. Russia and China, in particular, have accelerated efforts to de-dollarize their economies, driven by strategic imperatives to insulate themselves from US sanctions. Brazil and South Africa, facing economic challenges at home, see diversification as a pathway to greater resilience. India, ever the pragmatist, views reduced dependence on the dollar as a means to bolster its economic sovereignty. Trump's attempts to impose the dollar could inadvertently unify BRICS in opposition. By framing the dollar as an instrument of coercion rather than a facilitator of commerce, he risks alienating not just BRICS but other nations sympathetic to their cause. In an interconnected world, unilateralism is a recipe for isolation. History is rife with examples of empires clinging to outdated systems in the face of inevitable change. The British Empire's reluctance to relinquish control of its colonies, the Soviet Union's resistance to political reform, both ended in decline. America's insistence on dollar hegemony, despite growing resistance, could follow a similar trajectory. BRICS has a choice: to stand together or fracture under pressure. Unity would not only embolden their efforts to reshape the global financial system, but also send a clear message to Washington. By calling Trump's bluff, they could accelerate the transition to a multipolar economic order. Fragmentation, however, would only strengthen America's hand. Make America weak again. That might as well headline Trump's approach to global finance. His imposition of the dollar on BRICS is emblematic of a broader unwillingness to adapt to a changing world. Yet this moment also presents an opportunity. For BRICS and other emerging economies, the challenge is not just to resist coercion, but to offer a compelling vision for the future. The end of dollar dominance may well mark the beginning of a more equitable global financial system. As nations seek alternatives, they are not just rejecting the dollar. They are embracing the promise of a world where no single currency or country holds all the cards. Trump's gamble, though audacious, may be the catalyst for this long overdue transformation. That's it for today's video. I hope you found this analysis insightful. If you did, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more engaging content like this. As always, I appreciate your support.